A pleasant day to everyone. For our lesson, we will talk about the Filipino value system. And for the objective, after this lesson, you student will be able to trace the roots of Filipino values. Second, you can also distinguish between what is good and what is morally acceptable among the given Filipino values. And for the last, you can also enumerate the Filipino values at work. The question now is that are Filipinos good or bad? Or should the question be are Filipino values inherently good or bad? Both can be answered as some Filipinos practice the values that are good and some live by values that are bad. The practice of these values depend also on the context of how they are used. When we talk about value again, by the definition, values are the principles or standards of behavior which can be taken individually or as a group. So once we talk about value, like for example, injustice, ayan, it can be objective if it is a value that should be upheld by all. It becomes subjective, however, if justice becomes a value for a single individual, because a value is held according to the context, the meaning of justice for an individual is not general meaning of justice for all. Now, let's discuss about the roots of Filipino values. Saan po ba nanggaling, no? Ano po bang pinanggalingan? How these values become arise. The Filipino values can be traced from our very own Filipino culture. They can be explained in four ways. Una, we have here the universal stance but become distinctly Filipino. Pag sinabing distinctly, emphasize, no? Ina-emphasize natin yung kahalagahan nito. Okay, that is clearly emphasized. Like for example, hindi labis, hindi kulang, katamtaman lang. It also same thing in the Greek. They call it as amiden agan. Second is the aspect of our Filipino values can be found in other cultures and value systems. We all know that the Filipino values of being God-fearing and family solidarity are also shared by other culture, particularly in Asia. This means there are values from other culture which are the same with our values but are wrong differently in terms of our own priority. Third, universal values have their own distinct Filipino meaning. The values of pakikisama, or let's say the values of kabayanihan or pagsasarili have distinct Filipino meaning based on the past experience born out of our being nationalistic in terms of our character. Filipino values should be taken in context and from a set of circumstances. Like for example, meron tayo dito tinatawag na bahala na. This becomes negative when a person takes on a decision without planning or even evaluating all aspect of their decision. Bahala na is also a negative when a Filipino or a person becomes helpless under a situation. The person pushes an undertaking. Come what may, it become positive for an entrepreneur. For example, granting all plans have been finalized. Who takes risks and has the courage to start a business? Bahala na is a positive as a person relies on his or her effort and the guidance of God. And also lastly, Filipino values have evolved historically, and the consciousness emanates from a set of events. For example, the spirit of bayanihan was seen when Typhoon Yolanda struck Tacloban and nearby provinces. Like for example, nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, kaya may mga iba't iba tayong organization in terms of yung mga pantry-pantry. We have also read in the pages of Philippine history when our heroes fight for our country in the spirit of nationalism and patriotism. Now, what are the Filipino traits? So again, alam naman natin yan. We have the positive and also the negative traits. So again, when we talk about Filipino traits, there are many Filipino values which are still with us today and are considered by many as the best values in the world. Although we have also negative traits, the Filipino values are still in general. So now, let's talk about first the positive. First is we have the hospitality. Filipino are generally warm and excellent hosts. When a person visits a house, the host will always insist on offering anything and will make sure that the visitor has a great time. Another positive is what we have the respectfulness. Filipinos respect the elders by saying po or opo when answering them. They also put their hands on their elders on their foreheads. Another sign of respect is by taking a bow, especially to those with a high positions or have achieved a certain status worthy of respect and emulation. Third, we have a strong family ties and religion. Filipinos are known for keeping their families intact. There are many occasions that families celebrate, such as birthday, anniversaries, and reunions. Religion plays a key role in the Filipino family. Most Filipino families are raised in the Catholic faith. Many rituals in the exercise of Catholic faith involve the family. Fourth, we have generosity and helpfulness. Filipino are very generous. We have the spirit of bayanihan. It is also evident on many occasions, lalo na pag may mga salanta, mga ganyan, bagyo, during pandemic. Ayan, people are always ready to help in the best way possible. Next is hard working. Filipinos value their work even when they earn less. Many Filipinos strive to earn a living for their families. They are also trying to earn extra income by having sidelines such as selling an assortment of food items or clothes, shoes, and the likes. And we also have loving and caring. Filipinos are generally a loving and caring people. We are sweet and expressive. We can also easily show our affection to others through gesture, facial expression, and the likes. Now, in terms of negative traits, first is we have the fatalism. It also means that whatever will be, it will be, or come what may. Filipino tends to surrender the future to fate. Events, whether good or bad, happen because they are bound to happen. There is nothing they can do to change the hand of fate. Second is what we have, the crowd mentality. There are Filipinos who push others down for their own personal gain. This is especially true if those who are being pushed downward are becoming very successful. Normally, this happens in organization as people compete with each other for key positions. Third is the complacency. Some Filipinos may be aware of certain issues, but if these do not directly affect them, then they are not concerned. This is the walang pakialam attitude. And also, we have the shame or hiya. Many Filipinos conform to the expectation of others for fear of being the object of gossip or ridicule. Next, we have don't be caught attitude. It is alright to cheat as long as no one is looking. Breaking the rules is okay because everybody else does. And rationalization. Filipino who do work will not admit the wrong behavior but will find excuses by saying that they are just human, bound to commit mistakes. Now, in Filipino work values, Filipinos have a certain traits and behavior at work which are also found in our culture. First is we have orderly environment. This refers to the physical condition with which Filipinos are very particular. We want to have a comfortable work environment because personally, Filipinos strive to make their homes clean and tidy as well. Strong family ties. This refers to attachment to the family. The family is important and Filipino workers are motivated by the fact that their personal success will support their families as well. Most Filipinos strive hard to balance their family and work life by ensuring that their rest days are spent with their families. Next, we also have interpersonal relationship. The values of utang na loob or acknowledging the favors given by returning them in some ways, or what we called amor proprio, or the sense of honor, are seen in the Filipinos' interpersonal relationship. For us to show a sign of gratitude, we Filipino gladly return the favor given to them. We Filipino also have a sense of pride and dignity and would not give uneasily if what they believe is worth fighting for. Filipino also have a sense of pakikisama or working well with others. We are competitive but only to a certain extent for us to know how to mingle well with others. Next, material well-being. This refers to the desire of Filipinos to acquire recognition, security, and even economic gains. Filipinos strive to be recognized in our chosen field of endeavor. Many Filipinos have been successful in their chosen field and have eventually gained recognition locally or even internationally. However, if they choose the practical side of being employed, such as high salary and wages, they work as overseas Filipino workers or what we call OFW, in spite that they work as a domestic workers or in menial jobs. Next is we also have the occupational excellence. Filipino exert best effort to succeed in their respective occupations. Filipino also are highly creative and innovative as well. We also execute professionalism on the job while we receive work instructions from our supervisor. We Filipino also exercise autonomy and will do well with a minimum supervisions. And for the last, we have the religiosity. This refers to the exercise of one's faith, but not in conflict with the Filipino work life. In practice of religion convictions, the Filipino remain hardworking and industrious. As a predominantly Catholic country, Filipino gain strength from the exercise of their faith, while most organizations also believe in the teaching of Catholic Church. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.